All right, everyone. Hey, thanks for joining the damn conversation. It's Wednesday night, July 2nd, 2025. And my scheduled guest is the content creator of One Day or One Day or Day One. However, I've yet to see him show up. So this may turn into a free game night. Just don't know. Um, I've got questions lined up that I want to talk to him about. But then if he doesn't show up, then um I will have to uh improvise. And that's what you do sometimes. If I improvise, then um I'd like to go to full hour, but then again, I may not go to full hour. But I'm here. So those of you who know the format. I try to have a conversation for about an hour with my guest, and we usually cover a lot of things, mostly involving delivery and transport. Now, while I'm at it, since my guest is one day or day one, I will mention that my scheduled guest for next week's live stream is going to be the Ram Rican himself. Ram Rican. In fact, this is the Ram Rican will be damn it, it's not showing up. None of this shit is showing up. Anyway, he is going to be I'm sorry, he's from the New York, New Jersey market. And lately he's been doing a lot of stuff involving junk removal, but he is a true hustler, a businessman, and he does a little bit of everything. So the Ram Rican will be on next week. He previously appeared last week, or not last week, back at the end of April. And on that particular night, I ended up doing the hosting duties from my box truck as I drove back from Atlanta. So, but I was determined to have the show or do the show, and so we did it. Now, again, I'm still waiting for one day or day one, the content creator of that channel to show up in here in the green room, and when he does, I'll bring him in. If not, then what I'm going to do, at least for now, at least initiating conversation, hopefully with some folk when they show up in the. Hey, Brian, how you doing, man? It's just me and you right now. Um, what I will do is, if you'd like to join the damn conversation chat directly, I'm going to put the link out there for you. I know that you've stopped through here many a times, and so it'd be a pleasure and honor if you were interested to join in. Oh, there's my man, Dooney. I see you, man. You ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready, and then I'll bring you in. Okay. Hey, man.
Mic check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me
Yes,
loud
I
and
can hear.
clear?
I can hear you loud as clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great evening. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for accepting the invitation. I'm kind of telling his business. I had previously sent him an invitation, but it didn't work out. And it just so happened this time it worked out. And what I did was I gave him three dates to choose, and he picked the first one. So that's what's happening.
Hey, come on, man. We have been making waves with this last post I made. So I felt it was perfect timing. And also, by the way, too, I just joined like a men's group where it's like a mastermind group, and they just so
Hmm.
happen to do Wednesday meetups at 9 p.m. Eastern. They're actually
Okay.
on the West Coast. So I
Okay.
say, you know what, this is too good to pass up. Let's go ahead and get it rocking and rolling.
Okay. Okay. Now, Dooney, that's what he goes by.
Yes, sir.
He is the content creator of One Day or Day One. That is also the name of his delivery and transport operation. He's got his logo right up here. Mike Drop Barbecue, my man, Jay Watts. All right, he's in Phoenix. If you want to join in and join the damn conversation, Mike Drop. There's a link, man. It's always a pleasure to see you. Um, yeah, so he's been at it now. Dooney's been at it for what, 2 years or 3 years now?
Nah, about 2 years and some change. I think
Okay.
October will make probably 3 years, 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Came to win. Thanks for joining, man. Thanks for stopping through here.
Shout out to Came to Win. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat as well. Salute to the chat, man. Y'all
Okay.
about to get some good gems tonight.
Okay. That's all right, man. Here to tap in and listen. Thanks, man. But you're always welcome. You're always welcome, Jay Watts. Me and Jay Watts, we've got a history. We've got a history going back to before I did delivery of transport with a Sprinter/cargo van when I was working on the F-150 and the early gig geezer segments. Um, you're originally from Dallas. I'm from
Yes, sir. Hey,
Houston.
you got this information just by looking at the videos, or where you find this at? I think we lost Gig Geezer, man. Bring him on back. As soon as I asked him where he found out the information from, the call dropped.
Man,
Bring him
yeah,
on back.
yeah. That wasn't me. I've had issues with
That's them people.
no, that's live stream. But well, yes, well, you got to understand. I used to be a newspaper reporter. I was in media.
Okay.
So
Okay. Man, we keep losing them, man. Oh, my brother got a journalism background. Okay. Got that journalism background. Let me share the live as well while we get Geezer.
I promise you, this ain't me, man. This is live stream. This is StreamYard.
It's that StreamYard, huh?
Yeah, their bandwidths. They need to increase their bandwidth or something like that. So anyway, what I was saying, I went to Texas Southern. I'm from Houston.
Okay.
I have first cousins. I have first cousins in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Uncles and aunts in Fort Worth. So I'm more than familiar with going up 45. Now,
yes, sir.
Dooney is also currently in the Orlando area, and
that's right too.
But what's interesting is that one thing I mentioned from memory, but this is actually the first video that I actually saw of you. It was you sharing how you actually had accepted a job in Dallas and kind of went back and forth.
Man, I don't know what's going on with bro live. It look like it's about to be good.
Anyway,
I know, Gig, it's not you. We're gonna just keep bypassing. You can continue.
Yeah. So anyway, as I continue, thank you. You went back and forth. You did not really feel good about you went along with the offer and all, but you just weren't convinced. And so you decided ultimately to tell them that you wanted to go back to Orlando. So fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks, man.
Nah, you're 100% right, and I appreciate you doing your due diligence. Like you say, it's a part of your nature, part of your background. So you hitting these right on the head, and man, we keep losing. My God, that's sad. That's sad. And don't mind me looking down, y'all, in the chat. If y'all can still see me, I'm just sending out this, letting people know we live right now. I still got you, Gig. I was just letting the chat know I'm just sending out these links. So if they see my head down,
my hands are like down on my lap. So it's not like me fucking around with these buttons. It's StreamYard. So
and
I've had some.
Go ahead. And I would imagine even when you drop in the chat, is still live and active, right?
Yeah,
they're still in here when you drop. Okay,
yeah, everybody's in here. Everybody's in here. You got your buddy Jose. That's another name I was going to ask you about.
My brother.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Jose. Brother. We're gonna talk about you and him as well. I think people be interested in about that.
Yeah. So even for the people, man, in terms of the video that you mentioned, and so I started off as a project manager, making over 6 figures at 7-Eleven as a project manager for their headquarters. And I did that for 5 years. And so once they did some layoffs, I had 6 months to really figure it out, right? I knew I didn't want to go back to corporate America. At the time, I was developing my app, which is called the Budget Bible. And so I honestly thought I would be, finished with that prior to the 6 months lapse. And however, when I got to that 5th month, man, I had to make a real decision. And so that's a story in itself that I can jump into, but I ended up getting into the logistics game. I did that for like a year and some change. And it came to a point where I was like, man, this is just not cutting it. Maybe I can actually go back to Dallas, get me a project management job and potentially do this on the side still, Right. And so as you mentioned, I went down there, actually got the job with Pizza Hut. I know we lost Geezer, so this for the people. I got the job with Pizza Hut, Yum's brand to be exact, the parent company of Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC. And so I did it for like a week, man, and I was really trying to figure it out. Don't worry, gig, I'm still keeping it going. But
Thanks, man.
yeah, so I was really trying to decide if that was something I wanted to do. The team was great. Everything was great about it. It was crazy because it was the ideal situation. It was 3 days a week, working part-time and still making about $45 an hour. And
Right.
so, but the only thing was my family, my wife was still back in Orlando, and it was just hard to make that transition seamless.
Right.
As I thought it would be. And so I really had to make a decision, you know. And I just decided to get back to the grind, get back to the hustle, and
Hmm.
we'll figure it out later.
Now, was it really? Now, here's the other background part. I may have missed it, but please tell me if I'm just repeating here.
Mm-hmm.
You gone through a temp agency or a headhunter, and they gave you an initial offer, and you're like, yeah, nah, no, 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 no. You had one idea in mind in terms of the number, and so they came up. So it's kind of like a middle number.
Yeah, that's correct. And it was also, that's what made it so confusing. And they say, you know, God is not the author of confusion, but it made it
Right.
so confusing because I tried to do everything in my power to actually
Mhm.
to put an end to the deal, if you will, because they said $25 to start with, it'll be part-time. I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. They was like, what about
Right.
30? I'm like, nah, that's still far off. They was like
Mhm.
35. I'm like, just for shits and giggles, I'll entertain the conversation. And so
Mhm.
we entertain it. We land on 35. But in my back of my mind, I'm like, bro, I'm not about to move cross country for 35 bucks part
Right.
time. So, you know, I went through the interviews. During that time, I was letting them know, like, hey, bro, I'm gonna have to go ahead and pull my name out the hat. Unfortunately, at that time, Pizza Hut had already interviewed me and they really loved me. They cut all the other candidates out and it was just me. And so they was like,
Right.
what do we got to do to keep you? I'm like, bro, I told you I was at $50 an hour before I left, man. He was like, man,
Mhm.
we can get you to 40, 42.50.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, cool. So and to be honest, let me take a step back and say this too, because I always try to give a little value. Even you know, when you so elegantly corrected me, and I had to make sure I had some accountability. And this is another piece of that accountability is that what I really should have done is told them folks from the beginning, hey, I live in Orlando. I really want to move back to Dallas, and so this would be a great stepping stone or a transitional piece for me to get back there. Is there any way that you can, you know, offer assistance with moving? There's other ways I could have did it,
Right.
but
Right.
instead I took the easy way out and was just like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm moving to Dallas on Friday. I'll be there when the job starts. In the back of my mind, my idea was to fly to Dallas, give it a test run. During that time, look up some apartments and then transition on the weekend since I was only
Right.
working a few days out the week.
Right.
And long story short, it didn't work that way. I ended up burning a bridge. I tried to sever that bridge, but you know, I had
Yeah.
to let them know, hey, after 1 week, I can't do it anymore. And they
Right.
went to hell and back to give me the price that I wanted. So, you know, and I think
Right.
I even put that in that YouTube video that you're mentioning.
Right.
But yeah, that was just a great character building piece
Right.
of my story.
Now, for those who had not seen the video, what Donnie was talking about. Now, I don't know if you saw the video yourself, but I did.
We lost him, man. I think he about to pull up a clip. He's so professional. I think we about to pull up a clip. But shout out to the chat, man. Salute anybody that's coming that's familiar with me. Salute. Appreciate y'all joining. And if y'all not, you know, hey, let's get to
Now,
it.
quite honestly, I was going to really blast you, man. But when I saw you put out what you put out, I just let your words say what they were going to say.
Mm.
There was no, you said and then I moved on to another part of of my video. But I did preface it by saying, there are people out there that put out a lot of bad information, blah 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 blah. And I mentioned how in my line of work, when I was a reporter, accuracy.
We keep missing them. We keep missing them.
All right. In mid-sentence, accuracy is like one of the 10 commandments of being a reporter, among other things. So I appreciate you, just putting out there the correction. Not so much as about me. Just appreciate you putting out the correction because a lot of folk put out bad information, and there's a lot of folk talking about how they've been shipwrecked.
Mm.
So, and personally, I make it a habit to try to put out accurate information. People may say things about me, but they can't. For example, when it comes to like insurance, I dare somebody to challenge me with insurance because they ain't got 20 years in the business like I do.
Mm.
Um, when it comes to what I've learned so far in delivery and transport, I admit that I don't know everything. In fact, in my last video, I said that I'm in year 3 in this space doing delivery and transport with a Sprinter / cargo van and also with a box truck. I figured next year, year 4, would be when I can with confidence talk about trends that I've noticed in the business. You know, you build a body of work to where that can happen. But for whatever it's worth, y'all, that's not the first time Donnie and I actually interacted with other. So there's been this respect. There's been this respectful dialogue, and it's not been personal. That's the other thing. You know, obviously, Donnie's a young guy. I'm gonna guess you're in your late 20s, early 30s.
Nah, yeah, early 30s, man. I know I look super young, man. I'm a, you know, when I get up in age, it's gonna
Well,
really be a blessing. But now I'm 33.
33. Well,
I'm Jesus age.
I'm almost double your age.
Hey, we both look good for our age then. Real talk.
I know somebody right now who's probably giggling.
Yeah, I know everybody think I'm probably like 22, 23, but no, I'm 33.
No, I that's what I said, late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like what tap lines say, you never stop learning. And that's what I'm getting at. I don't claim to know everything. And what you pointed out, for example, about about the 9 states where it's not required to have the DOT number, that's something that I didn't know. So
Yeah, and I want to jump in and say I'm really glad that you did that.
mhm,
And to be honest with you, initially when I first received it, 'cause like you said, that wasn't the first interaction, and it's okay to agree to disagree, right? But
mhm,
in that case, in my opinion, you 100% right, which I alluded to in the video, and it
mhm,
was just a great opportunity for me to have again show accountability because at the end of the day, you know, like I even started that video right, a video off with everybody
mhm.
wants to be right on the internet.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm,
can admit that I'm wrong. And that right there is just so powerful for anybody who's thinking about getting in the content space
mhm,
and giving out education or information or infotainment, as I like to call it, you know.
mhm.
And but to your point as well, I understood where it was coming from because there are a lot of what they call it snake oils, what they call it snake
Snake oil salesman.
come on, man. There you go. It's a lot of people selling the business.
Charlatans.
Come on, it's a lot of
Peddlers. If you want to talk chapters and verse, peddlers of the gospel of whatever it
peddlers
is.
of the gospel. And you know, I do a live on TikTok specifically, like once a week. I do a live Q&A, and people just asking questions, and I'm
Mhm,
just out there giving the game. And I always tell people, you know, I'm not a guru in this space. I don't claim to be a guru. I don't claim to be a 10-year vet. I don't claim to know it all. Like
mhm,
somebody in the chat said, every day I'm still learning.
mhm.
And but there are a lot of people who will just tell you, if you buy my course, I guarantee you can make $5,000. Just
Right.
follow me, and that's
Mhm.
that's that's
No.
misleading. And so
Yeah.
I can understand when it's so many people just selling. You know, when
Mhm,
you see some misinformation, especially if we haven't had a chance to dialogue, or you know we hadn't really got a chance to speak, it can
mhm,
come across for anybody as, man, see, bro. Because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this, Giggies. I know he dropped. But I'm gonna tell you this, it's so funny. I've and for the chat, my goal in 2025 was to post, and I'm just
mhm,
letting them know, gig. My goal in
mhm,
2025 was to
mhm.
post every day, with the
Right.
exception of Sunday, as I
Mhm,
prepare
mhm.
for the launch of my app, because I know I'll have to do content for that as well. And
Right.
so the reason I even got in front of the camera was simply to practice for that. And so
Okay.
I was just showing people what I was doing, and then
Mhm,
in turn it just took off. Right? I'm like, oh snap! It's some people that's really needing this information, and I wasn't
right.
really privy to like all the other content creators and people in this space. It was just something I was practicing.
Mhm,
And it's interesting because out of all the videos I posted,
mhm.
when I posted that one, because it was on TikTok and Instagram as well, and so it wasn't just you, I had so many people in the comments like, wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. and so, and so when I made the response video, and I also, plastered it on those respective webs, social
Mhm,
media outlets as well. Of
mhm,
course, that doesn't get the attention as much as the imperfection, and that's
mhm,
another reason why I left it on there intentionally, not to continue to mislead people, but
mhm,
also to show you that I've pinned the response to let you guys know, hey, I'm wrong, and this is the actual update. Because last but not least, there are people still, even though there were a lot of people saying wrong, even when I
mhm.
made my response, there was still that same amount of people telling me I'm actually wrong about needing the DOT, because there's a confusion. If you go to the FMCSA website,
Right. It
it
tells
like
you exactly what's needed,
and
where
they
it's
say
needed.
they say reading is fundamental, right? Because
Yes.
the first couple of bullets, see, this is where it gets a little tricky. The first couple of bullets, it just flat out says if it's under 10,000 pounds, you're good.
Right.
And so people
Right.
see that and run with it. But if you
Right.
continue to read down
If
below,
you have intentions of delivery and transport within state lines for
yep,
pay, you need a USDOT
you need
number.
it. You need,
And
and
it's
so there's
also
still a lot of
the
confusion. Yep,
right. And then there's also because of the unique identifier of your business.
yep,
Now,
yep.
what's going to happen is that the USDOT is going to take over they're going to phase out the MC number and everything's going to be under the USDOT, but you're still going to have to pay for that authority, but you don't have to have that MC number. So the USDOT is for streamline. It's going to be streamlined at some point. We just don't know when. They're talking about later this year, but yeah, it's about if you're going to do it for pay, you need the DOT number.
Let me ask you
That's
this,
for
Gig.
that's for interstate. Yeah. Mhm.
Um, Someone once said a law is a law, no matter if you agree with it or not, right? And let
Mhm.
me ask you this: if you familiar, anybody in the chat, you mentioned the DOT is a unique identifier. How
Mhm.
does that? And I'm showing my ignorance here, right?
Mhm.
Ignorance is bliss. How? What? Why would a DOT be the unique identifier as opposed to just your VIN number or your license plate? Dang, we missed them. As opposed to your VIN number or your license plate if you're just staying local.
Okay.
Salute to the chat. Were you able to catch that, Gig?
Well, you asked about why is the DOT number, and then it dropped out on me.
Yeah, why is the DOT number required, from not necessarily from the literature, but just in your opinion,
Mhm.
as a unique identifier, as opposed to just simply having the VIN number or your license plate be a unique identifier? If you're only, dang, we lost them again. Let me save my question, man. I know I can ask Chat GPT, but I'm here with Gig Geezer. I'm gonna just ask Gig Geezer. You feel me?
Y'all,
Uh,
okay. Now, to answer the question, I think I caught it.
the government don't want me to ask that question. That's why I dropped out 3 times in 35 seconds flat. The government don't want me to ask that question. The government don't want me
There
to
there are
ask.
some folk who know that this happened to some other content creator get hosts where it's dropping out. But you said as opposed to the VIN number
Yeah,
because VIN
the
number is
government
the vehicle.
don't want me to ask it. My bad, Gig. The government don't want me to ask it, but go ahead and drop this knowledge on us.
All right, the vehicle ID number is exactly what it is. Vehicle ID number. You can't trace the business through the vehicle ID number.
Dang, we missed them. I don't know why my color just changed on me like that. I think that light went out. Sun went out. My bad for the aesthetics, y'all. Y'all just get the information. Go ahead, Gig.
All right, so they're trying to track down the business with the DOT number. Does that make sense? You
They're trying
gotta
to track down the business with the
with the
DOT
DOT.
number.
Your business is linked to the DOT number, not your vehicle ID number.
Right. So the business is linked to the DOT number.
Right.
And so what exactly, if let's say they stop you, or what, let's say somebody looks it up, what exactly are they looking for? Dang. I'm trying to get some knowledge in here. I'm trying to get some knowledge for them, for my people who still think the DOT isn't necessary. I'm asking for y'all and for me.
Hey y'all.
The
For those of
government
you
don't
just
want you to answer this, man.
for y'all who just joining in, thanks for coming through here. Tapline is in Charlotte. He's actually joined the conversation a few times.
Salute to
Um,
Charlotte.
yeah. And then there was Rick Warrior. He's out of California. He said he was in Los Angeles earlier. Now, the deal. Okay, if you were stopped, they're gonna pull. Well, if DOT pulls you over, they're gonna pull you over by your DOT number. or you.
Okay.
That's what they're going to pull you by. Okay. The DOT also is linked to your insurance information.
Right.
It's also linked to your safety rating. This is all public information. This is all public information. That's why it's a unique. It's all public information. So that's why the DOT number has such weight. The MC number again is merely your authority to transport stuff across state lines. The vehicle ID number, that's more so for like the state that you're in, where you're registering the vehicle for use. Okay. Am I answering your question there?
No, that's making sense. And forgive my project manager mind, because we always digging. That way we can dot our I's and cross our T's. But let me ask you this in terms of that. And I don't want to harbor on this too long, but I do think it's useful for people in the chat who was, because it's still people that's, like I told you, still like, I don't think I need my DOT. And again, because there's so many people operating without it, especially like with gig work. At an all-time high, with everybody telling you just become a courier driver and get the apps. And as I mentioned in that video, they don't ask for the DOT. So if you're not informed, you won't even worry about getting the DOT. And it's probably, I'm just speaking here, but it's probably not likely you'll get pulled over by a DOT official doing apps. But I could be wrong about that. So this is my question to you. Number one, at what point would you get pulled over by DOT? Like, is there actual just DOT officials, or does a police officer also act as a
they can. Anybody can pull you over that has statewide jurisdiction. Or I mean, even your local cops have statewide jurisdiction, even like in Florida, or this is what folk have told me in South Carolina and other states. Okay. Now,
I don't know if you in deep thought or you froze up on us, Gig. If you in deep thought, you about to get the answer of the universe.
All right.
You in here?
Okay. All right. Now, here's the deal. I know this kind of showing differently, but the state here in South Carolina, there's the state transportation police. They're like the DOT folk. They're looking for the safety shit. They're looking for if a person's they're looking for the log books. They're looking.
Yeah, I might have to get off this subject, y'all, because the government, I get the questioning and shit, and the government don't want me to dig deeper and deeper and deeper, because I'm basically saying, do we really need it? But
you're right, man. I think there's a force that don't want us to talk about these things.
I'm digging too deep, because once I get to try to, like I say, it's the law, so it's the law. So y'all follow the law. But I got my question.
The state transportation police, they're looking for the safety equipment. They're looking like if your mud flaps are dangling and shit, they're gonna pull you over for that. If you're missing, if all your lights aren't on that should be on, they'll pull you over for that. So they're looking safety first, and then they'll look for driver log books, the electronic logging device. They want to make sure that you have your medical card. This is for those who operate vehicles of 10,001 pounds or more.
Right.
These are the things that they're going to be looking for.
Right.
It's also a cash grab. It's really a cash grab.
That's all I was getting to, Gig. And again, we didn't make the rules. We just got to follow them, and we got to make sure we're educating these people to follow the rules so they don't get jammed up. But at the end of the day, it's a cash grab. That's really what I'm getting to.
It's a big time cash grab. Now, as an operator of a Sprinter / cargo van, we tend to, when you operate a Sprinter / cargo van, you under the radar. It's just that you still got to obey laws. You still got laws that you got to obey.
You can do it for 10 years. All it takes is that one time to get jammed up, and they don't want to hear I didn't know about it.
Right. There you go. Now, what else? Someone had asked the question about he heard. Now that's the thing. When you hear, that may not be the case. I will tell you that yes, when you have DOT number, your insurance may go up simply because of, there's a couple of things. There's the usage. Your radius of operation. If your radius of operation, they're going to automatically assume 500 miles. So therefore, there's the potential of shit happening if your radius of operation is 500 miles. Secondly, the vehicle and the cost of insuring the vehicle. If you own a vehicle outright, you own it, you don't finance, well then this is a trick that I learned, that you don't have to claim the buying price of the vehicle. You can, for example, if you bought the vehicle for $10,000, you can say its value is $1,000 to the insurance company because you own it outright, and therefore you have a lower cost of insurance, meaning that you're going to pay less. This is a trick that I learned. But if you're financing that vehicle, they're going to go according to the book, and according to the book, that vehicle value is what they're going to set the rate by. So if, let's say, you finance a truck for $35,000, they know the insurance companies know, because when you pay out your settlements, like if your vehicle is total, is based on the market value at that time. So the insuring value of the vehicle, let's say in that case, is $30,000. Your premium is going to be based on that $30,000. But you also got to remember too, with insurance, when it comes to commercial insurance, it's also your driving record, and it's also your credit. Your insurance score. Your insurance score is a combination of your insurance score, your credit score, and your driving record. That comprises your insurance score.
Talk to him, Gig.
No, preach, man, preach. That's right.
Hey, I always tell these folks, no matter how many people in the chat, sometimes there's only one person that really needs to hear that. So hey.
Yeah. Now I've done videos on this stuff, so it's not like I'm just talking.
We lost him, man. I wish I could control the chat. Who we got up in this? Hey, salute to that guy. Top line. I know he already shouted you out. Brian in this thing was good.
But thanks for kind of getting. But we're still going to have the conversation about you. Now, you met your friend Jose. This is a story about you and Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie also mentioned that he spent time in his car, and Planet Fitness was basically his place of transition each day. I'm putting it nicely. Now, he actually said shit, shower, and shade.
Shit, shower, shade, and 3 S's.
So, talk about that. The fact, and this actually would lead to you ultimately with 7-Eleven, right? It was all that beforehand, before you got to 7-Eleven. But you.
Yup. I'm gonna put y'all on game, man. For anybody that's back, had your back against the wall,
go ahead.
You already know how it is. Yeah, I'm just letting them know. If anybody that, go ahead, Gid.
So you had other aspirations before all this, which led to you having that, as they say, Spartan lifestyle. Temporarily.
That's what they say. That's what they call it.
Yeah, Spartan lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah, and I can get long-winded at times, but I'm gonna keep this concise but also impactful. So, been doing music all my life. I haven't done music since 2019, so it's almost going on 10 years for real. He say, man, got that dial-up connection.
I ain't got no fucking dial-up
AOL 30-day free disc.
I ain't got no fucking dial-up, man. I promise you.
Man. Hey, shout out to that boy Brian Wins. Shout out to Brian. Hey, but okay. So now I was doing music, pursuing music, man. We actually had a great run when I was in high school. I had my own teen club. I was on the radio in Dallas for a very long time. Was even on MTV.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, sir. So I really thought that music was going to take me far. Basically went solo after being with a group for a minute. Still was doing my thing in Dallas. Went on a couple of tours, and then I decided I reached my ceiling. Decided to go out there to LA, man. And I had an intuition that for some strange reason I was going to have to sleep in my car. And my mom always hates when I tell a story because it seems as if it's something I had to do, but in actuality, I didn't have to go to LA and stay in my car, but that's what I decided to do. So I lived out there in LA for 5 years, stayed in my car for 8 months out of those 5 years. So I always tell people, I lived in my car as well as next door to movie stars. Like my time in LA was at the highest of the highs and obviously at the lowest of the lows, but yeah, when it was time to stay in my car though, man, I had a $2 Monte Carlo. Shout out to my boy Jose. Before I transitioned to the car, my boy Jose had a friend. Shout out to Brandy. who's also an artist, fellow artist. Um, she allowed us to stay at her crib in South Central, a little small crib. I'm talking about I'm laying on the floor when it's cold at night. It wasn't no AC, wasn't no heating, so we had to turn on the oven, open up the oven door, and I'm sleeping in the kitchen under the oven. Like,
we're at. I actually lived in South Central at one time. So we're at.
Come on now, 59th and Hoover Street.
Oh shit, man! That's
Yeah,
east side. That's almost east side. That's almost by the freeway, if memory serves me correct.
Come on, man! Right around that corner. So, and I'm coming from Inglewood to South Central, which I'm not affiliated, nothing like that. But it just, I'm like, damn, like, where's Beverly Hills at, baby? Where's Santa Monica at? Like, what we doing? But nah. So we stayed there for 1 month, man, and couldn't take it no more. We was like, bro, we might as well just live in a car and try to continue this dream. And so we just jumped in the car. I had a Planet Fitness membership, and some of the guys at Planet Fitness knew that I was a rapper, was following me, and really was supporting the career. So they didn't mind that I was parking in the back of the Planet Fitness, and we just crashed there for the night. They open 24/7. So, no matter if we hit the club or we hit a party, wherever we going to chase the dream, we know when we come back home, aka Planet Fitness, we can go in there, shit, shower, shave, get a little. You know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you, Jose. Hoover and 53rd. I say 59th. Hoover and 53rd. There we go.
Don't forget, there's probably a liquor store across the other, at the other corner, and then another church on the other corner.
Hey, as well as all the dispensaries as well. So, but yeah, long story short, man, we lived in the car. Planet Fitness was home. We used to get woken up at odd times of the night, damn near weekly, just because we were trying to get our vision right. We used to go to Beverly Hills, wait till the gate open. We'll pull up, go sleep in the middle of two houses. That way we can look like. You know what I'm saying? One of them won't call the other, but we in the Monte Carlo, den it up. So it's like, bro, you don't belong here. So
yeah,
we getting woken up. Yeah, you can't stay here. And so last but not least, to your point, fast forward a couple of years, I get back, I got an apartment now, I'm doing my thing. But I saw an old white man driving a foreign car. And something just clicked inside of me, like he's not in the music game yet. He still is living the lifestyle that I've been chasing for so long. I'm about to switch gears. And that night, I went back to the crib. My mom was a project coordinator, making $35 an hour. As someone who wasn't qualified, if you will, right? Didn't go to college, only had customer service background. She always told me if I wanted to do something different, I should do that. So I finessed my resume, put project coordinator on all my titles, scrubbed off the warehouse worker, scrubbed off customer service, and I just started applying. And there was a phenomenal woman. I went through like 9 interviews and failed all of them miserably, just over talking, trying to talk my way into it. And my last one was with 7-Eleven, man, and it was a woman named Michelle Brigman, white woman, was like, hey, listen, before you even say nothing, all I'm trying to do is build culture here. So just give me give me who you are. Sell yourself, and I know you can learn everything. And I hadn't looked back since. I changed my life after that. Right.
Now we're going to talk some delivery and transport. We're actually going to start with the shirt. Now, I have been one, I guess you say, the old school talk of business card. That still is applicable, but you are into branding. Branding is big with.
Yeah, big into branding, man. I want to make sure we let Gig Geezer come back in here. Every time I start talking to the chat, my boy Gig pop back up.
Okay, so here's a mixture of old and new branding, and the time honored thing of business card. But we're going to talk about branding. How important is branding, in your opinion?
Branding is super important. I think that's one of the things that separates me from a lot of the content creators and people like selling the courses and things like that. That's something I really speak about a lot. That's something that I believe has helped me gain a lot of what I like to call personal customers. And so as far as branding, I strongly believe, man, if you got your logo, at least the logo, one time, and I always give this example. Let's say you're doing an app and you're delivering to some Home Depot goods to Susie May. And this is for the chat right here. You delivering some goods to Susie May. Of course, you can just jump out in the white tee and give it to them and go on about your day. That's what's up. But now everybody is a potential customer of yours. So when you hop out, you looking good. You got your logo on. I come back and backdoor with. I hate I'm saying all this without Gig. Yeah, you can still hear me?
Yeah, I got you back.
Yeah, I was just letting them know. I pull up to Miss Susie. I let her know, hey, I got your goods. And by the way, to your point, I tell it, I tell people I take it a size above the business card and do like a little flyer. I just have a little bit more real estate. I got a QR code. They can actually go ahead and just schedule their own appointments, so on and so forth. But I hit them with the business card. Now I have the brand on the business card. I'm already looking the part. I'm not just pulling up in the white tee, which is cool. But me personally, I'm not just pulling up in the white tee. Some days I may, but for the most part, pull up with my logo. They're already assuming that I don't own this van. They thinking if Home Depot is delivering it, I'm working for Home Depot or I'm working for Lowe's. So when I let them know, hey, by the way, Miss Susie, just letting you know I deliver locally. I'm always delivering out here in your neck of the woods. If you ever need something delivered, just let you know. Is it okay if I give you my flyer? Oh, sure. By the way, is this your van? Yes, ma'am. It's my van. This is my company. One day one. And like I said, if you need any deliveries, just let me know. My information is right there. You can schedule on your own, or you can just give me a call or a text. And so I don't have statistics that points directly to the brand equals the sale, but I do believe that it just allows the customer to feel comfortable going off that app and making you their preferred vendor, if you will. So
now as a van owner, it's interesting how folk do react when they're thinking that, oh, you're driving somebody else's stuff, and you tell them that's my van or that's my truck. Like, oh shit, this guy.
It's a different conversation. It's a different level of respect. Yep. It's a different level of respect because they're looking at you like a delivery driver. But when you pull up and you say, this is my van, this is my company, now you just became a small business owner in their eyes. Or a business. I shouldn't even say a small business. I was letting them know, gig, when you pull up in that van, they looking at you like a delivery driver. But when you hop out, you got your logo, you letting them know this your van, you got your business card or your flyer ready and it's presented. You speaking the way that we speak professionally. It's like, oh, you went from a delivery driver to like an actual business owner. Like you're a small business. Okay, let me support you. So
So I'm going to ask you this now. I've made a lot of comments like this in various videos, why I say what I say, but I'm going to ask you first and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
Why do you call it?
Why do I call it ... Man, salute to the chat, man. Appreciate all y'all in here right now, man. Hopefully you getting some gems, getting some game.
All right. Why do you call it what we do, cargo van business?
Well, I actually use the term we're cargo van owner operators, and I know a lot of these terms I'm really talking to Gig. I'm talking to y'all too, but I want to make sure Gig hear this as well. So make sure y'all catch that budget Bible as well.
Yeah, I did hear cargo van owner operator. Go ahead.
Yeah, cargo van owner operator, but I also know depending on how I'm speaking, who I'm speaking to, and what comes out, it could be courier service, delivery service, cargo van owner operator, and things like that. So I do use some of those words interchangeably. I'm not really married to one of them per se, but when I am telling people in terms of giving them strategies on how they could land potential contracts with companies, I always let them know they should create themselves a cargo van owner operator resume. Make sure you have a template and address yourself as such.
Right. Okay. Now, I use the term delivery and transport. I have used the term early on 2 years ago, cargo van business, but I got away from it when I realized that, for example, when I saw a video of a couple in Michigan using a Ford Transit 250 extended body, long wheelbase, high roof as a pizza shop. That's not cargo van business. That is a pizza shop. But the Sprinter van is the vehicle by which they do their business. Literally, it is. You follow what I'm saying? Would you agree that we really just we're a logistics company? Yeah, I'll buy that because I'll buy that. I used to go by that all the time. When I first jumped in the game, I was everybody that asked, "What you do, bro?" Logistics. Which is true, but it kind of you know what that reminds me of? Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son when Lamont said, well, I'm in commodities. Oh, you're a junk man.
Yeah, you're right. You in logistics. Oh, bro, you deliver.
or what's happening when Raj would always correct people. My mother is a residential coordinator. Oh, she's a maid.
She's amazing. I was joking with my wife. I'm gonna start doing some skits with the cargo van because I'm gonna see a lot of people doing skits per se.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing some skits, and one of the skits, it was more so like, you know, just what you said. I know I just lost my boy Gig, but it's just like Gig said, man. I'm gonna wait till my boy Gig get on, man. I gotta drop this on him, man. You can
Yeah,
hear
you
me?
talking about, yeah, you talked about the
Yeah.
skits, okay? But go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was like, I'm gonna just tell them like, you know, I'm a legit. Damn, bro, man, the government don't want me to talk about some of these things, man. Maybe God don't want me to share some of my future plans because sometimes you're not supposed to talk about the things that you want to actually accomplish.
You know
We can
what
move
I
on,
did
again.
what I did beforehand, because I had some issues some time ago. I actually backed out of this fucking thing and
Mm.
logged back in. And this shit is still doing this, man.
Oh,
So
it
I don't know
is.
what. Yeah, man, this is annoying. But I want to acknowledge a couple of folks. Gig Boss Man. He's out of Birmingham, Alabama. He's actually we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago. Him and a friend of his out of Atlanta, and
Salute to
then
you, boss
Thriving
man.
with Ty out of the Washington D.C., Baltimore, Washington D.C. area. Driving with Ty, otherwise known as Ty Leroy. You ought to see this video, then you understand why I do that.
Okay, okay.
If you remember the movie with Shogun, and
Talking about the black karate.
yeah, that's where you
Yeah,
get that. That's where you get that from.
salute. Salute
But
to
yeah,
everybody at Jones
yeah.
jumping in.
So yeah, I again. So another example of just using your van for business is like a mobile barbershop, dog grooming.
Yep.
Yeah, these are examples that I've given folk. Tire repair, mobile auto repair. You know, where you're a mobile mechanic. So the van is a very versatile vehicle. It's probably the most versatile vehicle that's in the if you will, logistics. Okay,
There you go. Yeah.
I would make an argument for a box truck, but I think for just most people who have much easier access to the Sprinter / cargo van is that vehicle.
You know, and Gil, you make a great point. And now that you break it down like that, I can actually do a self-assessment and I can tell you, like I say, I use different words depending on the different audience. But like when I go live on my TikTok and I'm able to put the actual title, I actually choose, I think it's when I talk. Because when Gig talking, he don't drop. But when I talk, bro drop. Bro don't want to hear this shit. I'm convinced bro don't want to hear it. Go ahead.
Shit, man.
Go ahead, Gig. But I've noticed that when I put the title as cargo van business, right? Cargo van business for somebody who's been thinking about getting in the game or somebody who maybe just scrolling and catches it. That's an easy word to bring in some viewership. Like I've been thinking about getting in the cargo van game, cargo van space, cargo van business. And so I think that's more so a catchphrase. But in terms of like the day-to-day, somebody, you know, John is asking me, hey brother, what do you do? I would never say, yeah, I have a cargo van business. Like I mentioned, it's either gonna be I'm in the logistics game. I'm an owner operator. I do a lot of B2B deliveries, B2C deliveries. So, you know, depending on who I'm speaking to, but you do gotta. I don't want to use the term dumb it down, but
all right, man. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to something else.
Yeah, let's move it.
This thing starts fucking me again. You're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, right? I'm gonna throw out a couple of names. I'm gonna throw out a couple of names. Now, of course, back in the 1970s, I was a Dallas Cowboys follower, faithful follower of the Cowboys, and so a couple of the worst games that I ever saw were the Super Bowls.
I feel you. We had a run in that. Well, let me not say we. They had a run in the 90s for sure.
No, I'm talking about back in the 1970s.
Yeah, you were saying in the 70s. Yeah, I know y'all picked it up though.
But couple of names that you should be familiar with because I actually did stories on them in my days as a newspaper reporter. In fact, one guy, I was the very first person to interview him for media purposes. The first guy is Donnie Shell. Did a story on him when I first came to South Carolina. He's a Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame cornerback. Went to South Carolina State. He was a free agent same year with
I guess it happens when he talked too. I feel a little bitter about that, but then again, I still don't feel good. I feel better, but don't feel good. Damn, they dropped him 2 times. That's crazy. What's going on with StreamYard?
Donnie was a free agent cornerback out of South Carolina State, same year as John Stallworth. But another person, the person I'm talking about, whom I first person to interview He was in 11th grade, and people were like, why him? James Ferrier.
Okay.
He was first round draft pick of the New York Jets, and then I think he got traded to the Steelers, and he was a stalwart for the Steelers.
Damn.
Nah, bro got the dial-up connection for sure.
Yeah, James was a stalwart outside linebacker for y'all.
Okay. And you say this I know you mentioned the Cowboys fan was in the 70s, but is this also in the 70s? That same timeline?
Donnie played in the 1970s. He was on their first Super Bowl championships team, but James was 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they won their, I think when they won with what's the name?
Coward. Damn. I missed the last name. Now that he say with Bill Cowher, maybe I can catch that name again. He say James.
I'm gonna say this. Fuck all y'all who's saying that I got a dial-up connection. Fuck every last one of y'all.
They on your head, gig. They
Fuck
on your
every
head
last one of y'all.
They on your head about that, man.
I show you the goddamn bill, man. I got a Wi-Fi bill. I just got a fucked up connection tonight.
30-day AOL free trial running this course, ain't it?
Yeah, America Online 1.5, 2.5 shit. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. Oh, my daughter's on here. Hey, daughter.
Dad, what's up?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I actually so you were talking about James. You say he was with that Bill Cowher team. What was his last? Damn, bro, I'm about to move on with this convo too. Bro. We can't talk about the Steelers. Can't talk about none of that.
Yeah, James went to high school outside of Petersburg, Virginia, Matoaka High School, and he was All-American at University of Virginia.
Yeah, I got on to the Steelers bandwagon when Cordell Stewart was the quarterback, aka Slash. We had Hines Ward, Jerome Bettis.
That's 1990s.
Come on, man. We lost to the Tennessee Titans to a field goal in them playoffs, and I've been hooked ever since. I love a get back story. We ain't have to win the championship that year. I'm like, I like how they lost.
56K modem is outdated. Man, y'all really fucking with me. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, daughter. I'm gonna talk to my daughter then. See, there's always one person who my daughter.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing, man.
She's actually been a guest on here as well. But yeah, I wanted to drop those.
Hey, y'all hear some music in the background? I got these AirPods on. I don't know if I'm connected to another phone or y'all hear that music in the background?
I'm going to extend the invitation, Donnie, if you'd be interested in coming back on another time later this summer.
We'll do it.
And hopefully live stream will not make me look like I don't pay my bills or I'm using a dial-up phone or something like that. Or I can give you some other old shit that I used to use way back when.
Yeah, that's all good.
Buy my father a modem. You meant whatever. I don't know what the fuck a MOEM is.
That modem. It just forgot the D. But hey, if we gonna jump due to the connection, let me go ahead and give these folks in the chat something to live with before I get up out of here, man. So
all right,
for those that's just joining, man, I go by Dooney. I represent O.D.O.D.O. That's one day a day one. It's really more than a delivery company. I'm much more than a delivery driver, a cargo van owner, operator. This is a mindset. This is a mentality. It's either going to be one day you're going to make something happen, or today going to be day one you get off your ass and make something shake for real. And so I live by that. I'm always trying to get out of a one day mentality. Anything I tell y'all on my shorts, on Instagram, anything like that, I'm really talking to myself. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. And let me also leave you with this. I'm also big into financial literacy. I created this, what I call the Budget Bible, a few years ago. I've sold over 400 copies, which I'm super blessed and humbled to say. If the page is not gold, it's not mine. And basically what this Budget Bible is going to teach you is that if you get paid weekly or bi-weekly, there is no reason we should still be managing our money from a monthly perspective. There is no reason why we should still be budgeting our money from a monthly perspective. So if you get paid weekly or bi-weekly, you should be budgeting your money weekly or bi-weekly. And so this Budget Bible, about the first 25 pages or so, is going to actually give you the strategies on how you can manage your money, and the rest of the as you can see here. And then the rest of the planner pages is actually exactly what it sounds like. You're able to track your income, your expenses, how much did you save this week, so on and so forth. And so I'm actually happy to announce that I've been working on the companion app for the last 2 years. That's basically where it's been bleeding my pockets dry. I basically done everything I can to make it launch, and I'm happy to say that it's launching in a couple of weeks. So y'all be on the lookout for that budget Bible. It's I think y'all gonna really benefit from it, and hit that budgetbible.com. You feel me? Go ahead and support. Go ahead and support. For sure. I had to drop that on them real quick, gig. Let these folks know. You feel me?
Hey, that's fine. That's fine, man. This is a platform to do that. It's
come on,
a
man.
platform
We're business owners. We are business owners. So y'all keep
Well,
grinding.
you know what?
Man.
I was going to ask you a question about the W-2 mindset versus the 1099 mindset. Did you find yourself having to make that type of a transition, or did you really find yourself making that type of transition from a W-2 mindset to 1099, where you're thinking like a true business person?
It's actually harder. It's harder. It's so to answer your question directly, definitely. I'm still actually struggling with that. I think just a two-part answer really quick. When it comes to the finances, even with the budget Bible, I was initially struggling with the target audience, because I know if you work a regular corporate job, or you work in a 9 to 5, you're gonna get paid either weekly or bi-weekly. So that's the real target demographic. But when I actually got into the cargo van space, and I understand that if you have a contract, or if you have like a factoring company, you can kind of know when your money coming in. But when you start adding in those apps, you could potentially get paid Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The money just coming in, and it could also be going out as fast as it's coming in. So I've been really trying to well, not even trying to, I've been letting people know that even if you're in this space and you get paid multiple days, you really want to give yourself a payday. Give yourself a payday. Just like when you was working at 9 to 5 and you had that payday, give yourself a payday. So if the money coming in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, but your payday is Friday, don't touch it until Friday. I won't take up too much time going down that path. But that's one particular like mindset shift of like, ooh, all this money coming in, like how can I manage it properly? But the other part about the mentality or the mindset is it's like, how do you, and this is I like to coach people, and I use the term coach loosely, but I really spread the message of like mentality. It's like when it's slow season and you don't have nothing going on, nothing is coming in, the app's not hidden, the contracts didn't fell through. I lost 3 contracts last year, big ones. You feel me? Like, what do you do when shit hit the fan and you're back against the wall? It's like, if you have a 9 to 5 mentality, all I gotta do is wake up the next day and go to work. But when you have a 1099, is what we call it, right? 1099 contractor. When you have a 1099 mindset, it's like you really have to have will. You have to have the will to wake up in the morning. You have to have the will to say, if I told myself I'm gonna put in 5 applications per day over the course of 7 days, that's 35 applications. That's 140 applications a month. When that month end, can I really look back and see that I actually put them in or not? Most people will tell you I want to do that, but when that month comes to an end, they probably put in 3. And so how do you keep that drive? How do you keep that will? And so that's an everyday challenge though. That's an everyday challenge. That's an everyday challenge. Show for show. Mentality, ladies and gentlemen.
Personally, I am way far removed from W-2 world. So often what I talk about is really from a business owner standpoint. So I may be guilty then of being a bit out of touch with someone who's trying to make that transition. But the transition can be made. The transition can be made. It's just,
let me ask you, Gid, not to cut you off, but I think
if not you, the live stream probably will.
Somebody they gonna cut you. I'm trying to cut you off before they cut you off. You feel? I'm trying to cut you off before your dial-up cut you off. So let me ask you.
Oh, you too now, huh? Okay.
I joined in. Hey, that's how they joined in on me when you told me wrong. Everybody joined in on me. but nah. Let me tell you this. One of my boys, Eric, I don't know if he on here, but one of my fellow drivers out here that I've met while doing this, he hits me up today. I hadn't talked to Eric in a minute. He hit me up. He say, bro, I didn't know you had a YouTube. I said, yup. He say, you gonna be on with Geezer tonight? I say, damn. I say, yeah, bro. I say, what? I say, you follow, bro? He was like, yeah, he follow you. He watch all your stuff and stuff like that. I'm like, that's cool. But he told me this. He say, yeah, he posted a video and he put you in the video to show like just the accountability things that you were speaking about earlier when we first got on. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let me go check it out. He sent me the link. I checked out the video, right, in full. And so there was a small portion about me in there. I thought the whole video was about to be about me, that's egotistical to think that it was going to be about me. But you actually hit on other subjects. And one of the topics that you hit on was you were talking about somebody in a group who were thinking about putting those keys down and not wanting to drive anymore. And you was like, you could have been that same person who was about to, basically quit, if you will, and not do this. My question to you is, if it wasn't about going back to a W-2 or going back to a job, what would you have done if you did decide not to drive anymore? Like, what would have been your next move?
Well, because I'm also an insurance agent, I just would have beat the pavement as an insurance agent.
Okay, you're an insurance agent. Got you.
Yeah, I have an agency that I've maintained for in some iteration for the past. So to answer the question, I've been an insurance agent. Actually, since 2001, my first licensing, and then I had my second licensing in 2014, and I opened the current iteration of an agency in 2016, 2017.
Oh, you got that old money.
I wouldn't say that.
You still spending old money. You ain't even touched the blue faces yet.
No,
dang,
it ain't like that. It ain't like that. It ain't like that.
Dang. Okay.
No, it ain't like that at all.
Well, let me speak it into existence for you then.
Insurance money used to be the primary money. And then when I got into the gig economy, 2016, actually by 2018, 2019, that money started to supersede the insurance money. So, yep.
Okay.
So I still write business. I still have to deal with customers and all. In fact, I dealt with customers today while I was out doing delivery and all. So, yeah.
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Yeah. So, well, we're gonna duck out of here before this thing cut me out. Y'all, thanks for coming through here. It's all good about it's. I'll be an insurance agent with a direct TV connection. Come on, man. How can I be that? I don't know, man. Because I'm old. God damn it, that's why I'm old. I'm 20th century, man. That's why. That's why. It's
shout out to my boy Brian for defending me. I said, hey man, I don't know what Geezer gonna be on tonight, man. He been challenging me. I don't know if this is about to be the great debate or we about to have a kumbaya. So my boy Brian was ready in this thing. Salute to my boy Brian, man.
No, I said we're gonna have a conversation. Okay, I asked some questions, right? You know, we talked about some things. Hey, it's you know, I still accomplished what I set out to do. I had pages, you know, I had some notes in here, and I covered more than half of them, just like that. So, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for extending this invitation. This isn't the first time you extended it, and I'm glad we got a chance to do it, man. And even when, like I say, just to give you some flowers, man, when I did the response, obviously it was on YouTube, but it was also on Instagram and TikTok as well. And this is not the first time I responded to someone in that fashion. Maybe not with the wrong, but like with just on some bull. Yours wasn't bullshit because yours was right. But just I'll respond, but I typically respond in a graceful manner to let people know, like, hey, bro, it's okay to have a disagreement because everything is about trolling on the internet. Everything is about going back and forth. And sometimes, bro, like you can actually, I don't want to say kill somebody with kindness, but you know, there's a way to respond and still have your followers and your audience be like, man, that's a real one right there. Like I'm, you know, so I say all that to say, when I posted it on Instagram and TikTok as well, and I'm gonna wait till bro get on here to get his flowers.
wait till bro get on here to get his flowers. So yeah, when I posted on Instagram and TikTok as well, man, I actually had a few people in those comments saying, "Oh yeah, man, I fuck with Gig Geezer. Man, Gig Geezer showed me how to do this, and he showed me how to do that." So I'm like, "All right, that's what's up," you know. So hey, it's going past YouTube, man. It's going past YouTube. You out here, man. You been out here.
Well, thanks.
You've been out here, man, and that's just somebody who I just came across you as well. So, it was good to see, man, that support from both sides.
Right. Well, y'all, we're gonna call it a week here. Thanks for joining the damn conversation. Hey, thanks y'all for giving me grief tonight. Yeah, I was Joe Rockhead, Barney Rubble, Mr. Slate, and Fred tonight, and Dino.
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like, and I do feel like I was driving with the foot brakes and the foot accelerator.
The universe had my back tonight. They wasn't gonna let you make it out with that wrong. They wasn't gonna let you make it out. That's all it was.
Yeah. So then all my connections are wrong tonight.
Oh man, they gave me they allowed me to get the floor to speak to the chat. That's all it was. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in, and y'all mess with me. I'm gonna let Gig Geezer get up out of here, man. Y'all be cool, man. Y'all be cool. For sure.
All right. Again, I got what you said. This is bad, man. But I can say I get what you said. I got it, man. I got it. We good there.
Let's get to it, man. Keep getting that money.
Okay. All right, y'all. So
keep getting that money, Gig.
All right, you too, man. I'll be in contact again, y'all. Hey, we're gonna do it again next week. Ram Reekin is gonna be on 9:00 Eastern. 9:00 Eastern here on YouTube. All right, y'all. Next time.
Yep.